Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on the Comedy of Errors, and buckle up, we're up for a long one today. Today we get to hear from the Courtezan in Act 4, Scene 3, which we just finished Act 3 yesterday, so we've got a little bit of catching up that we need to do. And it's not that this monologue is long, it's just that there's a lot of catching up because there's all these mistaken identities and missing props and all of that sort of thing. So the Courtezan Antipholus of Ephesius got locked out of his house because Antipholus of Syracuse was already in there eating dinner because Adriana mistook Syracuse for Ephesius when she brought him home for dinner. Antipholus of Ephesius had commissioned this necklace or this chain to be made that he was going to give to his wife, but decided that now out of spite he's going to give it to this courtesan instead, and goes to have dinner at the courtesan's house. That was the end of Act 3, Scene 1. At the end of Act 3, Scene 2, we have had Antipholus of Syracuse professing his love to Luciana, who is Adriana's sister, even though Luciana's like, go be good to your wife. He's like, she's not my wife, I love you instead. So, and then at the end of that, Angelo, the guy who is making this necklace or this chain, comes in and gives it to Antipholus of Syracuse, who's like, I suppose you want some money for this? And Angelo's like, I'll come back and get the money later. And Antipholus of Syracuse and Dromio of Syracuse decide that this town has really gotten too weird for them, so they need to leave. So Antipholus of Syracuse sent Dromio of Syracuse down to the docks to see if there was a ship sailing anytime soon that they could get on and get out of here so that this whole thing can be done. And that's basically the end of Act 3. So at the start of Act 4, we have Angelo talking to another merchant because Angelo, the necklace maker, owes this other merchant money. And he's like, but I'm about to get this money from Antipholus of Ephesius, so just hang on a second. Oh, and by the way, here he is. And Antipholus of Ephesius and Dromio of Ephesius are coming in, and Antipholus of Ephesius tells Dromio of Ephesius to go buy some rope and gives him some money to do that. And then Angelo's like, hey, so do you have my money? And Antipholus is like, yeah, I'll pay you as soon as I have the necklace. And Angelo's like, but I gave you the necklace. And Antipholus is like, well, I don't have any money on me. Just go home to my wife, take the necklace to her, and she'll give you the money. And Angelo's like, so you're going to give me the necklace to take to your house to give to your wife? And Antipholus is like, but I don't have the necklace. And Angelo's like, yeah, I gave it to you like a half an hour ago. And of course, he'd given it to Antipholus of Syracuse, not Antipholus of Ephesius. And Antipholus of Ephesius is so adamant about this, he ends up actually getting arrested. Angelo makes sure that Antipholus of Ephesius gets arrested for swindling him. So as he is starting to be taken away, Dromio of Syracuse comes in and he's like, hey, there's a ship and it's ready to go, and I put all of our stuff on it, so they're just waiting on you. And Antipholus of Ephesius is like, wait, what? No, I need you to go to find Adriana, and here's this key, tell her to go into this specific drawer, and there's bail money in there. There's money in there that we can use as bail, so go get that and bring it back. And Antipholus of Ephesius gets hauled off to jail, and Dromio of Syracuse is like, I have no idea what's going on, and I really don't want to go back to that house where we had dinner last night because there was that maid who was really wound, who liked me, but I guess that I have to do this because my master tells me to. And that's the end of Act 4, Scene 1. So Act 4, Scene 2, we have Luciana and Adriana talking, and Luciana has told Adriana what Antipholus of Syracuse said, but of course she thinks it was Antipholus of Ephesius. She thinks it was her brother-in-law confessing his love for her instead of her brother-in-law's long-lost brother doing it. So of course Adriana is all torn up about this, and she's very upset and asking about Antipholus's demeanor and all that sort of thing. And then Dromio of Syracuse comes in and he's like, I need the bail money. He's like all out of breath, and they're like, wait, why do you need this money? He's like, because Antipholus got arrested and there was something about a chain, and Adriana's like, the chain that he was supposed to have made for me? Like, he still had, wait, what? And so she sends Luciana to get the bail money, has another quick little exchange with Dromio of Syracuse, who doesn't entirely know why Antipholus of Ephesius was arrested, but he's just there to get the bail money. And Luciana comes back in with the bail money, gives it to Dromio of Syracuse. He goes back out, and Adriana's like, this is getting crazy. And that's the end of Act 4, Scene 2. So at the start of Act 4, Scene 3, we have Antipholus of Syracuse just kind of wandering through the streets, no idea that his doppelganger was arrested. And he's like, this town is so weird because like everybody seems to know me and they're all being really nice. And this one guy gave me a chain and other people are offering to sell me things, and a tailor like took my measurements and all this sort of thing. And Dromio of Syracuse comes running and he's like, here's the money that you sent me for. And Antipholus is like, no, I wanted you to find a ship and get us on a ship. So what's that? What? And Dromio's like, no, this is your bail money to pay the bail. Aren't you going to prison now? And Antipholus of Syracuse is like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't think I've ever been arrested. And then the courtesan enters, and she thinks that this is Antipholus of Ephesus. So she's like, so do you have that chain that you promised me? And Antipholus of Syracuse is like, wait, what? You're some devilish creature? And she's like, so you took a ring from me last night and promised that you would give me a chain in exchange for it, so give me the chain. And Antipholus of Syracuse is like, what? Though technically he has the chain, he's just very confused by the situation at this point. And she's like, okay, if you're not going to give me the chain, then give me my ring back. And he's like, I don't have your ring. And she's like, you're not going to give me the chain or the ring? Like, you're a swindler. So she gets all upset, and Antipholus of Syracuse and Dromio of Syracuse are frightened of her, so they just kind of run away. They're like, you scary woman, and they go running away. And the courtesan has a moment on stage by herself where she remarks, now out of doubt, Antipholus is mad. Else would he never so demean himself. A ring he hath of mine worth 40 ducats, and for the same he promised me a chain. Both one and other he denies me now. The reason that I gather he is mad. Besides, this present instance of rage is a mad tale he told today at dinner of his own doors being shut against his entrance. Belike his wife, acquainted with his fits, on purpose shut the doors against his way. My way is now to hie home to his house and tell his wife that being lunatic, he rushed into my house and took, perforce, my ring away. This course I fittest choose, for 40 ducats is too much to lose. And that's the end of Act 4, Scene 3. So what the courtesan is saying here, because she's in on the I can't tell the difference between the two Antipholuses, whatever. She can't tell the difference between the two of them. So when she had dinner with Antipholus of Ephesus and he took the ring, he said that he had been locked out of his house. And now she's finding Antipholus of Syracuse, who says he doesn't have the ring and doesn't have the chain. And she's like, he must be losing his mind at this point. And it's probably because he's losing his mind that his wife locked him out of the house. So the best thing that I can do is go to his house, tell his wife that he stole my ring in order to get my ring back, because I don't want to be out the 40 bucks that my ring / this chain are worth. So since I'm not getting the ring or the chain, I'm going to go and get the ring from his wife. That's going to end well, isn't it? Isn't it? What do you think? Anyway, sorry, I told you that was going to be a long one, and for such a short monologue too, but there was a lot of ground to cover because there's a lot of mistaken identities and misunderstandings. And I mean, it is called the Comedy of Errors, so I guess that's to be expected. But anyway, stuff does eventually get to resolve, and if you come on back tomorrow, we will start to see how some of these pieces might come together into a resolution for the play. So I'll see you then for that. Mwah.